as well as for the OpenID Foundation overall. Mike Jones from Microsoft is going to present a summary of some technical work that's being done. We're going to have George Fletcher from AOL call in. And then we really want to make sure there's sufficient time for those of you who are retailers or working with retailers to share your thoughts. And so we have a number of presenters here that are going to share their experiences, their hopes and expectations, some of their concerns. And then hopefully in both of these sessions, for this to be, as Andrew and Don said, really a dialogue. For those of you who have been following this space for a while, every probably quarter or 6 months, we try to reach out and engage with the marketplace. As Andrew referred to, as you saw that kind of curve that he put up, this whole category of user-managed identity and social sharing started out in blogs and user-generated content applications. It eventually moved into professionally managed content in entertainment and gaming and magazines and newspapers and TV and radio and things like that. And we've done a lot of outreach to try to serve content providers. We had a very similar session to this in New York. It was hosted by the BBC. We had a session in Chicago with Sears. Thanks, Rob Arles is here from now Bloomberg, but was then with Sears, where we're trying to get input on user experience. So these sessions that we're having today are not meant to be only presentations. They're meant to be interactions, dialogue, where we're going to share some of the best practices and thoughts for the future, but it's also intended to get your feedback on what you would like to see happen, because this whole category is evolving now so that it's more relevant to commerce applications to online retail. And so we really want to make sure we understand what your goals and aspirations are and make sure that the overall technology as well as the services provided by the various players are evolving to meet your needs. So that's what I'm going to try to go through here in maybe about 10 minutes and try to get us close to back on the schedule. Just a little bit of orientation about what this technology is all about and how it can potentially benefit retailers and the customers that are coming to your websites. So what we're observing in the marketplace today are some of these high-level bullets. Consumers want to research and execute purchases on the web. You're probably seeing that in your businesses today, that even if you have a bricks and mortar point of presence, you also need to have an online presence because consumers are demanding it. And it's, in many cases, a much more cost-effective channel for you. The second key bullet point is that social commerce is a reality. What's happening is the signal-to-noise ratio on the web is degrading. So we as consumers trying to decide how we spend our time, our money, our energy, are constantly bombarded with choice. And so one of the things that social media does is allow you to benefit from what's called the wisdom of crowds. And you've probably seen this when you've gone to sites and see user reviews. That's evolving further now to the wisdom of friends. So it's one thing to know what 100 people say about your product. It's even more important to know what 10 of your closest friends say about your products. So these are things that are happening in the marketplace today. And you can choose to embrace it and leverage it, or you can choose to have it happen on its own, independent of you, because people will continue to comment on Facebook and on Twitter and on LinkedIn, whether you're engaged or not. So our message to the audience here today is, it's going to happen. The best thing for you to do is to get involved. Just some third-party validation. This is a piece that the New York Times put together a few months ago, talking about the trust factor of friend suggestions, 20% more, 20% times more likely to click on something when it's related to something that a friend had to say. A report from Forrester saying that getting information from your immediate social networks really makes results more relevant. And here, a comment from Matt Cutts at Google talking about what friends are saying helps in search results. So I think we're all experiencing that ourselves. The reality is it's happening in the marketplace. So what are the potential benefits to you and your organizations and your customers about embracing third-party identity and social networks? We've tried to distill it down to a few key points. By the way, this whole presentation is available on the Eventbrite that you all signed up on. If you go back to it, there's some embedded links in there, and this is posted on SlideShare. So all these notes are available to you. But at a high level, some of the benefits, higher registrations, and I think you'll see in some of the presentations that are going to be shared today by some of the retailers who've implemented this technology, we've all experienced what I call identity fatigue. You come to a website, and in order to do something, whether it's to post on a blog, or read a product review, or read a coupon, you have to tell the site something about yourself. And at some point, you just say, you know what, I don't care that much. If I have to fill out a form, with 5 or 6 pieces of information about myself, I may just move on. If on the other hand, you could just say, well, if I just have to click on the Google button or the Facebook button or the Twitter button, and it lets me in and lets me do what I want to do, I'm much more likely to do that. So you're seeing increased, better registration rates here in the vicinity of 25 to 50%. Better login. Again, when you come back to a site, if it's a site you haven't gone to recently or you don't go to frequently, you may not remember the username and password that you used the last time. So one of the ways you can mitigate that is to let them use a familiar icon-based login, and you'll see some examples in the screenshots of what this looks like. Another key benefit is increasing the referral traffic, the search engine optimization, and brand projection. Leveraging social networks. One of the things you have here. Do we use the, okay. Is when you have folks come to your website, they do something interesting. If they bought a product, they've written a positive product review, they downloaded a coupon, they watched a video clip, that's a prime time to say to those customers, gosh, it looks like you had a good experience here on our website. Wouldn't you like to tell your friends? Tell your friends on Twitter and Facebook, on LinkedIn, and MySpace, and Yahoo. This is a great way to project your brand. So even if people aren't doing anything as a result of it, when they see positive comments about your products and your company in environments they already happen to be on, it's a good way for you to project your brand. The second thing that happens is if you've instrumented it properly, when folks see those positive comments on one of the social networks that they're participating on, you make it very easy for them to come back to your site. So if I see a comment in Facebook or LinkedIn about a great product or a great service or a discount coupon or whatever it may be, if I can click on it and come directly back deep into the site where exactly that particular activity is available, you're going to get a lot of good referral traffic. And when those folks come, they're coming with an identity. So you know they came from Facebook, you know they came from Google, you know they came from LinkedIn. You can invite them to log in if they don't have an account to register using that identity. And all these referral links then increase, as you all know, increase your search engine optimization. Collecting rich customer data. Andrew talked about some of the data that PayPal has and that some of the other third-party providers have. And there's a long list here. Not all providers provide all information, but the point is it continues to increase. The service providers, the identity providers, the social network providers are making additional data available with consumer opt-in to share information about themselves that should let you serve them better. The fifth point here, improved mobile experience. Who's had to type in a username and a password on a mobile device, right? It's not all that much fun. So imagine if instead you could just click a button and log into a site because your phone remembers that you...
Thank you for calling.
I guess I'm done. And we'll see some screenshots of what this looks like, but it can be a lot more elegant experience for you. And the last thing is for any organizations that have multiple websites. So for example, Universal Music Group has adopted this technology and they have 600 different artists' websites that when you log into one, you've logged into all of them. So if you have multiple properties under your brand or across a number of brands, but you want your customers to log in once and traverse multiple related websites, these technologies facilitate that. Don kind of gave you a quick overview of the OpenID Foundation. It is a standards development body. These are some of the companies that have been involved in supporting and sponsoring the organization over time. So who's using the technology today? There's a wide variety of categories of organizations. News and media is the large ones we talked about because they were some of the first ones who adopted it. But we are seeing it in retail, entertainment, government, nonprofit, online guides, and the categories continue. One of the other things you'll start to see if any of you are using third-party platform technologies on your website, a number of these platform technologies are also adopting these third-party identities and social networking capabilities. So if you're using Ning or KickApps or Viewpoints or WebPoint or Echo or to discuss are some shopping cart technologies, customer feedback technologies. If you already have them on your site, you're already using this technology. So the opportunity here is, as customers become familiar and comfortable with it in a limited capacity, for example, if they want to provide customer feedback, the next logical step for you as a company is to say, well, not only can you use it for customer feedback, but you can use it for your entire experience here on our site. So, Rob, I don't know if you want to talk through this, or I think this is going to be in your presentation. So I'm going to skip through this, but we had just a quick demo that kind of shows some of the things that you can do at a site like Sears, offering choice for login, importing data, personalizing the experience, letting customers write product reviews, and then letting them share those reviews on social networks. So in this case, Facebook and Twitter. And then multicast the review. If you've seen a TV or a washing machine or a straw that you like and you want to share that with your friends, you can do that to multiple social networks and then drive referral traffic back to your site. The other thing to remember is that these technologies are underlying technologies. The user experience is completely within your control. So if you're all worried about, well, if I let people log in with their Google account, how does that impact the user experience that I'll present to my customer? And the reality is you have multiple deployment options, ranging from out of the box, maybe not as flexible, to fully integrated via API where you can have complete control. And so just showing you some examples of different user experiences here at Kodak, here at Zappos, Diesel, Red Plum, Hewlett Packard. And then the same thing is true on the social publishing piece. All that was for the login part. But also on the social publishing piece, you have complete flexibility about how you present the user interface later. We talked about mobile. Another big advantage here in the mobile side is not having to type in your username and password on every mobile interface and being able to just click and not only log in, but then make it very easy for folks to share their experiences on their website with their friends on social networks, also via SMS, email, other protocols. We talked a little bit about rich user data, and in the presentation that you'll see on the website, on SharePoint, here's kind of for example, on Facebook, probably has one of the richest data payloads, the various categories of information that may be available from your customers that help you customize and optimize their user experience. So just to recap the key benefits, and I think this list is going to continue to grow. For example, as Andrew talked about, aggregation of third-party attributes and claims. That's going to help. We're going to be able to get things like shipping address and mailing address and credit information. That's going to increase it. But broadly speaking, higher registration, better login, increased referral traffic and SEO, getting richer customer data, especially earlier in the relationship, improving the mobile experience and federation across multiple websites. So that's just a quick overview to kind of level set everyone on what we see as some of the potential benefits and how this technology is being used and deployed. Now we're going to go into some specifics from each of the different identity providers, some of the technology part from the OpenID Foundation Technical Committee, and then the second half will be the retailers actually giving some case studies and also asking some questions. So some of the presentations are from folks that have not yet deployed the technology, but are thinking about it and have questions for the group here. So that's our intent today. Is that going to cover what most people signed up for, hoping to hear, hoping to see here today? All right, great. Well, I'll turn it over to